Are you ready now?
Yes.
Good evening, students. My name is Mrs. Bird, and I'm your instructor for the Administrative Medical Assistant Program. In this class, we'll be learning the tools necessary for you to become a medical assistant. And tonight's lesson, we're going to do an introduction to medical terminology. So, have any of you had any experience at all with medical terminology?
No.
No. No experience. Good. So we're all going to be learning together. Now, there are some basics that we have to learn in order to begin building our medical vocabulary. And as we learn those, you'll see that putting medical terminology is putting words together. And we'll learn how to put them together, how to separate them to determine the definition of those words. But first of all, I'd like to ask, do any of you speak a language other than English?
Yes.
Yes, you do. Okay. Is English your primary or your secondary language?
Primary.
Primary. Okay. And when you were learning your secondary language, how did you feel while you were learning that language?
It was confusing in the beginning.
Confusing. Anybody else?
It's hard.
Hard. Okay. Well, learning medical terminology is like learning another language. So those of you who are bilingual will be trilingual when you leave here. Those who are just have one primary language right now, you're going to be learning a second language, so you'll be considered bilingual. So we're going to go ahead and get started, but I do want to inform you that there are 4 basic parts to a medical terminology. And those parts are the word roots. Can you say word roots?
Word roots.
Okay. And word roots, they contain the basic meaning of a term. Then we have combining forms. Can you say combining forms?
Combining forms.
Okay. And those are word roots with a vowel. That a combining form helps you to be able to put your words together. So we're going to do some demonstrating, so you'll be able to see that. Then we have suffixes. Can you say suffixes?
Suffixes.
And the suffixes are usually at the end of a word, but not all words have a suffix. Okay, so we're going to see that there'll be the suffix, but they don't always come at the end of a word. Then we have prefixes. Prefixes. And those are usually at the beginning of the word, but then again, not all medical terminology has prefixes. So we're going to begin to see the differences. So one thing that you absolutely have to remember is that a word root cannot stand alone. Okay, so as we go through and we do a demonstration of the words, then we'll know that you either have to add a suffix, a combining form, or you're going to add a prefix. So let's begin with, I'm going to give you an example. Medical terminology for some may seem hard at first, but there'll be words as you're going through and you're learning that I already know that word, like tonsillectomy. Many of us have had a tonsillectomy. We've had our tonsils removed. Or we have tonsillitis, inflammation of the tonsils. So we're going to show how to break those words down. So if we take tonsillectomy or tonsillitis and we break them down, we're going to break down the word root is tonsil. The suffix is either itis or ectomy. So if I say we have tonsillitis and itis means inflammation, then what do we have with our tonsils?
Inflammation.
Inflammation of the tonsil. Okay, if I tell you that the word root is the word root is natal. Okay, let's go with the word prenatal. The word root is natal. You have a suffix of al, meaning pertaining to, and you have a prefix of pre in this case. So we have 3 word parts. We have the prefix, the word root, and the suffix. So if I were to tell you that pre means before, natal means birth, and the suffix al means pertaining to, what would prenatal mean?
Before birth.
What before birth?
Pertaining to.
Pertaining to before birth, because we had the AL, the suffix. So I'm going to show you just a few words, and we're going to go through them really fast, but you'll begin to see how to put those words together. And I just chose the muscular system to choose some words from there. Okay, if we start with tendinitis. Tendon, the word is the word root. Itis is the, what is itis?
Suffix.
Is the suffix, correct. So tendinitis is inflammation of,
The tendon.
inflammation of a tendon, correct. We're going to do just a couple more. Myolysis. Can you say myolysis?
Myolysis.
Myolysis. Myo means muscle. Lysis means destruction or breaking down. So, the word myolysis means
Destruction or
Destruction
breaking
or breaking down of the muscle.
of the muscle, correct. One more. Myorexis. Can you say myorexis?
Myorexis.
Okay. Myo meaning muscle, once again. Rexis meaning
Rupture.
rupture. So myorexis means
Rupture of the muscle.
rupture of the muscle, correct. Okay, when we started talking about medical terminology, I told you that there were 4 word parts. Can you tell me what those word parts are?
Prefix.
Root word. Prefix.
Suffix.
Suffix.
Okay, I need you to speak up. I can't hear you.
Prefix.
Prefix, correct.
Suffix.
Combining form, suffix,
Word root.
and the word root. And what comes at the end of a medical terminology word?
The suffix.
The suffix. And what comes at the beginning?
Prefix.
I can't hear you. Prefix, thank you. And what part of a word cannot stand alone?
Root word.
Root word, thank you. Okay, if you'll pull out your books, we're going to turn to page 75, and we're going to begin. Thank you. Let me see what it looks like.
You want me to start?
Yay, Mrs. Bird.
You want me to start?
Yeah, it only has to be 5 minutes.